advantage and disadvantage of formula-based representation. Okay? So what is formula-based representation? What is formula-based representation?
For each location there is a formula.
Sequence system.
How will we store data?
Sequential.
We will store data sequentially. And data will be stored in an array. Formula-based representation means it is sequential storage of data, and for sequential storage of data, we use the concept of array that we will use. Okay, and we will optimally make use of the concept of dynamic memory allocation. Okay, and we will optimize it more after we finish writing the basic version. Okay, so we have to realize a data structure. A data structure means a combination of data values and the operations that can be performed on the data, or that needs to be performed on the data. So that is a data structure. So data structure for us is now data plus operations on the data clubbed together. So what is the construct that we will use? We will use class. What type of class do we realize? Template class or a generic class. Okay. So you can note it down with me. Ask me questions. Don't discuss with your friends. You get any doubt, you can directly ask me. Template class X. Okay. I'll call the class list. I'll call the class list. Then let us define the data values first. Okay, the data values, the type of data, the data type of data will be X, and of that we will have star elements. I am using the same name as the book. Okay, later on for different examples we will change it. Okay. So of type X we have a pointer, we will declare a pointer called star element. Okay. Why do we do this? Because of type X we want to have an array, say of 100, 1000 or whatever. If we do it this way, it's not optimum. Okay. And if we do it this way, I am deciding for the user how much data, how much memory locations are to be set aside. We will not do that. We will let the user tell us how much of data is to be stored. Based on that, we will set aside we will choose the array size. Is that clear? Okay. So of type X element, when we are working with arrays, what are the other variables that you need, that you think we need? Size. Wherever we use an array, the size of an array is to be maintained. Okay, so of type int, I will have a variable called size, and I also told you that not all the data will be stored at time 0 or time 1 to start with. As and when there is a data, that data will be added onto the array. In which case we need to have one more variable. We will call that variable length. Okay, this will tell us the actual number of data. This will tell us the maximum amount of data that can be stored. Okay, if I don't put any specifier, it means everything is private. Now I will put the specifier public. The first member function, the first function that we will always write will be a constructor. It's not a rule, but that's the convention. And it makes sense also. Okay, you create something first and then you try to do something with it. Okay, so we write the constructor. So void would be the return type. Some compilers will not even ask you to specify a return type for a constructor. So for completeness, we will put void here.
Doesn't have return type.
Correct. That's what I am telling. We will, for completeness, we will today, some compilers will not even ask you to specify a return type. Constructors never return anything anywhere. Okay? So void, the constructor will have the same name as the class. Okay? And the way in which we would write the constructor, do you think we will need arguments? No. See, we want the user to specify if it is an array of 100 or 1000 or 10 or 5 or 10,000. We want the user to tell us that. In which case, somewhere we need to get that information from the user. Where will we get it? At the time of creating an object, the user will say, create an object that can hold 1000 data. Correct? So in that case, we will have to provide argument. So let's take the argument to be of type int. Argument to be of type int. Then another variable sh. And should we have default value for this argument? Yes. Why yes? Because if the user might forget to specify the size of the array. But as programmers, you should know that there cannot be an array without a size or arbitrary size. So it is necessary for us to give a default value. What default value will we give? 1. We'll do that in our version 2 of the program. For now, we'll be a little good. So we'll say 10, 1 or 10 or whatever. Because if I give it as 1, then we can't understand the other functions that we write. Because there's only one data that you can store. Then where is the concept of search? Where is the concept of insert or whatever, correct? So for now we'll be a little generous and make the default size as 10. Does that mean that the user will always get an array of size 10? No. If the user forgets to put the size or mention the size of the array, then it will be of size 10. Otherwise, the user can even give 10,000. It will be taken. How do we take it? How do we take the value that the user gives? SIZE is equal to SZ. Correct? Okay. Then what do we do in the constructor? Element is equal to new. What type of data? X type of data. How much?
Size.
SIZD or SZ I can give here since I am inside this one. Okay. What else do we need to do in the constructor? We initialize length to 0, which means we just have an empty list now created. Okay. Done? Any doubts for people who not recently done the C++ course? Okay, we'll continue. The next one, next member function we write will be a destructor. So destructor is tilde list. Will destructor have arguments? When you're trying to destroy something, we really don't care to have arguments, no arguments. Okay. So tilde list. What do we do in the destructor? The memory that is allocated using new, remember, should be deleted. That's the concept. Otherwise, you won't do anything also, it's fine. But why would you use a destructor? To take away the memory that you set aside using new. So, we will delete. You have to delete the pointer. Delete. Delete is a keyword. Delete what? Element. Delete the array element. This because we created an array with element. Now when we do this, is the data gone? Now suppose I have created a list to hold 10 and I have stored 10 data items there. Then when the destructor is invoked, once the destructor is invoked, will all the data go? Data will not be lost. Data will be there in the memory. What is lost?
location.
The address to go to that data is lost, but the data will always be there. Since the address is lost, that address will be counted under free memory and it can be allotted to any other application. So you have the data, but it's of no use to you. You don't know how to retrieve it. Okay, that's the point. Okay, so we've deleted the data that we created using new. So constructor, destructor. Now let's write it for bool is the return type. Is empty is the name of the function. The purpose of writing this is
Yes.
to quickly find out that if the list is empty. Okay? So return len double equal to 0. Return true. Length double equal to 0 is checking for a condition. Is length equal to 0? Okay, if it is true, it will return true. Otherwise, it will return false. Then we'll write it for insert. We'll write it for insert. We'll write a function for insert. Return type, we will fill it up after we find out what the return type should be.
Why is the return type for SMT bool?
True or
It's
false?
just yes or no. Is it?
Return length equal to
That will return true or
so
false.
like
Huh.
when you did give up, when it's not empty. When the array is not
If it is not empty, if it is empty, it will say yes.
One.
This is true if list is empty. It is true if list is empty. That's what, length double equal to 0. Just created a list. Or when we delete, we'll keep on decrement the length by 1. When we insert, we'll keep on increment length by 1. So we'll keep varying length. And when you call that function, you just check the value of length. Okay? Insert. We decided on how the insert function would look like. We saw in the previous class.
Start over. So
To insert a data, onto the list. For example, suppose I will give you time to discuss. Okay, let's just finish some aspects and then whatever doubts you have, we can discuss. Otherwise, if you start discussing, you'll miss out on what I am telling you now. Okay. So suppose I have a list like this. The list will be called element, correct? The list will be called element. Now I want to insert the data onto the list. What is it that as a user I have to specify? I have to specify the data. The data is of type X. The data that the user gives, am I free to alter it while inserting? So what should I do? I'll put a constant. Okay? X. Is that clear? Why? Constant X. Whatever data the user has given, that should not be changed while I am trying to insert. Okay? So constant X, and what else is to be specified? The position. So I will say int k. How do you take k as? Insert the data X at the kth position. We'll write it like that. The other versions could be insert after k, insert before k. Those variations you will have to be prepared for. Okay? Is this clear? Now I want to insert a data.
Constant X is
data type I.
should take some other variable.
Constant X.
I.
I will take it as
I, J,
Small
K,
x,
L.
small x.
X
I
is
take it
data
as
type.
N.
Small x. Doesn't work.
Small, I can take, yeah, small x. That's what we do. Don't get confused. Capital X is the data type. Small x is the value. Got it? Small x is the value. Now
We are writing pounds because we don't
we'll
know
take the
operation.
k as at kth position. Now K, the position is something that is given by the user. So what are the, shouldn't we check the, shouldn't we validate one thing in all the programs that we write, all the applications that we write? Wherever you are getting the data from the user, you have to validate it. Okay? Now there are two data that we are getting from the user. The data that is to be stored and the position at which it is to be stored. So there is no point in validating the data because that's the data the user wants to store. Okay? But we have to validate the position. In what sense? Only the limits we will check. It is the user's choice to put the data in whatever location, but that location should be valid. So first thing that we will do in any function that we write is to validate user data. Okay? So if k less than
Size.
what is the minimum value that k can take?
0.
If k less than 0, should I make it less than equal to?
Less than 0. Greater than 0.
No. 0 is for us, but for the user it will be the first data. Correct? With this, can the user store a data in the first position? It depends on how we write. He can. If k less than 0 or k greater than
Size.
if I want to put some data in some position, I should be able to do it. I have asked so much memory, okay? I have asked so much memory and it is set aside for me. I should be able to store wherever I want to store. If I buy a book, I should be able to write wherever I want to write. Only thing is I cannot write in my neighbor's book. That's all we have to check. Okay? So what will we write here? No. Size. Because we will not expect too much from the user. For the user it is 1 to size. If k less than 0 or if k less than 0 or k greater than size, we will make use of the concept of exceptions. We will throw an exception. So what am I assuming? I am assuming that whatever exception I am throwing here
Will be cast off.
will be that catch block is already written somewhere. Where?
Main program or something.
Except.h. You have to include except.h header file where all the definitions for the exceptions are written there. For now we will assume that is already there. So we will throw an exception out of bounds. The name that we use should be intuitive. Anybody should be able to understand what is there in that exception. If k less than 0 or k greater than size. For the user, see for the user it is 1 to size. For us it will be 0 to size minus 1. How I map is different. When I try to retrieve, where I store it in memory, if the user says insert at the first location, I'll put it in 0. That's up to me. But I will not expect anything extra from the user. User can say size also. I'll put it in size minus 1. We'll finish it. We'll finish it. Okay? For us it is 0 to size minus 1. When we store or delete or search, we have to be aware of this. But what is the user know? Data 1 to data size. Fine. Now if I have to insert the data, okay, store the data somewhere. What should be the process of storing?
Element of k.
Now we validated the user data, user information. What should we do next?
Else.
Else part is what we write here.
Element
If
of
the condition is satisfied, we are going out. So it's okay, we don't even have to put an else now. What should we do now? Now we have to put, suppose
Element of
I
K.
have 21, 48, 53, 84. I have data like this. Okay? Suppose I have an array from 0 to 9. All of you here. All of you here. You help me write this and then we will do all the variations. Okay? Suppose
Area of K is equal to
Suppose we created a
element
list
of K.
and we've already stored this much data. Now we've got a request. Let me say at position 2. At position 2,
K minus 1.
store the data 50. At position 2, store the data 50.
Element
This is what is the request. Do we have space for that? Yes, we have space for that. How do I know? Because we'll have to ascertain that as well. We'll have to ascertain if we have space. How do you find out if you have space? If length is less than size, then we can if length is less than size, we have space. Correct? Okay? Size or size minus 1. Let's not complicate things. Length is less than size. We'll come back. When we do the next iteration of tracing the program, we'll fix things. If length less than size, actually size minus 1. If length less than size minus 1, don't get tied up there. Don't get, one second. We'll finish writing, then we will trace, we'll build the test cases and then have the final version. If length less than size minus 1, then you have space, you can do the storage, extra storage. Now in position 2, which is where should the data come after which number?
1 at 1.
The second position. At the second position. So what is there at the second position now?
48.
48. Now instead of 48, I have to put 50. Can I assume that the user does not want 48 and then erase and put 40? No. I want to insert something in between. The other things will always be there. So what do we have to do? We will have to somehow accommodate these numbers. Are we free to change their order? No. So what do we do? So push this 48 down and make space. Now if 48 comes down, 53 should come here, 84 should come there. Got it? So what is it that we do now? If length is less than size, we will use a for loop. I'll let you do the changes, okay? Just understand the concept first and then you can discuss and you can put everything together. If length is less than size minus 1, okay? Because if you have size number of data, I am telling you why I wrote size minus 1. If you already have size amount of data, you don't have space. Though your length and size are, you need one more extra location. That's my idea. If length less than size. Okay? Length, the first length, if you add one data, length will be 1 and not 0. That's the idea. Okay? Then what do we do?
I equal to K.
For int I is equal to from which
K.
position do we
K.
start?
K.
Where do we start from? How many of you think that we should start from the last location? Shifting from the last location. How many of you think that we should start from the last location? How many of you? Yeah, last location. From last. How many of you think we should start from the kth position?
Kth position.
K minus 1
Kth position.
ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಂದ್ಗಡೆ
So all of you think that we should start from the last? We should start from the last because if you start from here, you put it, you lose this. So this is empty. I know this is empty. So put for int I is equal to length. Okay? I. Where do we go up to? And should we increment I or decrement I? I should be decremented. I want something to go somewhere. Element of I should go to I plus 1. Now you bring in the concept of 0 to size minus 1, 0 to length minus 1 and everything. Is this clear? Whatever you find in length, push it to the next one. Next time, I minus minus. I, how long do you do that? Now you can discuss among yourself and tell me an answer for this. I,
Zero नहीं देगा.
K plus 1.
K plus 1.
K plus 1.